the nature of the mind, as you know. It's all about the self. I'm talking about the egoic mind. And so that egoic mind has no idea what the possible human is. Or at least it thinks that the possible human is just the wanting something. Now, in this culture, we've made that into an ideology. We made that into a science. We made it into a philosophy of life. So that the North American belief, or the belief of any materialistic society, but particularly capitalist society, is that the nature of the human being is to be selfish, to be acquisitive, to be aggressive, and to be competitive. And this is who we actually are. And you know what? Scientists will actually find for you the selfish gene. There's even a book written with that title. No, that's not science, it's ideology. But it's an emanation of that egoic mind, the same egoic mind that sits there saying, when is it going to be my turn? And in the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, Sogyal Rinpoche says that the greatest achievement of modern culture, he says, is the brilliant selling of samsara. Samsara meaning the Sanskrit term for suffering. So that the greatest achievement of our culture, he says, is the brilliant selling of suffering. And its barren distractions. Modern society seems to me, he says, a celebration of all the things that lead away from truth, make truth hard to live for, and discourage people even from believing it exists. So that the very culture we live in denies that there's truth, makes people hungry, hurts people, leaves them isolated, therefore empty, therefore wanting satisfaction from the outside, therefore addicted, and then it creates all these products and all these activities and all these cultural diversions to fill the very emptiness that it creates. And then they say, that selfishness is the nature of human beings. And there's the complete circle of the ideology. Well, as Eckhart points out, that every addiction arises from an unconscious refusal to face and move through your own pain. Every addiction starts with pain and ends with pain. So the degree to which you attach to food, the degree to which you attach to substances, the degree to which you attach to attention, the degree to which you attach to television, any external behavior. And as somebody said, all addictions are ways of trying to get from the outside, trying to solve your problems from the outside. So the more attached you are to getting something from the outside, the more it means that you never had in the first place the attachment in the positive sense. So the less we had that attachment given to us in the first place, the more we try and crave it and try and get it from the outside, which is the very nature of addiction. So at the heart of addiction, there's loss and there's pain. And what is the nature of that pain? And Eckhart says that basically all emotions, that is its origin in the loss of awareness of who you are. And as Alma says really eloquently, he says, the fundamental thing that happened and the greatest calamity is not that there was no love or support. The greater calamity is that you lost the connection to your essence. So the big thing then is not to focus on what happened externally and how do I get that from the outside, but how do I reconnect to myself? And that reconnection to the self doesn't happen through here. Because thinking about it and even talking about it and teaching it and helping other people get there doesn't get me there. Because you can only get there in here. You can only get there through the body. You can only get there at the very core of your being. So there's nothing out there. There's nothing I'm going to say. There's nothing else anybody else is going to say that's going to get you there. And you know, as it says in the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, so whatever you do, don't shut off your pain. Accept your pain and remain vulnerable. All these things we do to get away from pain, like being nice or doing substances. Don't shut off your pain. However desperate you become, accept your pain as it is, because it is in fact trying to hand you a precious gift the chance of discovery through spiritual practice what lies behind sorrow. And don't we know, he says, and only far too well, that protection from pain doesn't work, and that when we try and defend ourselves from suffering, we only suffer more, and then we don't learn what we can from experience. Or as Amos says, the surest way to get to hell is to resist going to hell. Sadhgram's exercise encouraged in us, when we're able to be still and we're able to pay attention to what's actually there, then that sense of connection isn't just an idea, it's actually a reality way beyond the separation that the mind would otherwise impose. Thank you very much.